What's up guys, it's Tom here, and Liverpool are working on signing the brilliant attacking midfielder Xavi Simons, who is still very young with a lot of potential, and recently it was revealed that not only want Liverpool to sign him, but he has a release clause in his contract and he is interesting to many European elite clubs. He's only 22 years old. He just recently secured a permanent transfer to Leipzig after being there on loan for 2 years. He was the PSG's player on loan at Leipzig, and then Leipzig signed him. And Sky Germany journalist Florian Plettenberg has revealed his release clause is 68.6 million pounds, but Leipzig would want at least 60 million pounds for Xavi Simons. And the report also states that Liverpool have Xavi Simons on their radar and they are monitoring his situation. Bayern Munich are also monitoring the situation, but they are interested in Florian Wirtz as well. No official offer has been submitted just yet. We are still at the early stages of developing this transfer story developments, and Xavi Simons has impressed during the 2 seasons at Leipzig. We will look at his detailed record and all the reports about this, but he already scored 20 goals and 19 assists in 72 games in the Bundesliga, and he is not only capable of playing in the attacking midfield position, he can play out wide as well, and he's a very creative, a very versatile player. And this PSG sell-on clause is very interesting because it looks like Liverpool get the green light to sign Xavi Simons. Do you think, let me know in the comments below, do you think he would be a good signing for 50 to 60 million pounds? His contract runs until 2027, so he will have another 2 years left on his contract, but that doesn't mean that he will stay for the duration of his contract. And according to the Bild newspaper, Leipzig are in a tough financial situation. They need to sell players to raise funds and to strengthen their team, and they are aiming to bring in around 100 million euros from player sales. And the way that they could do that is if they sell Xavi Simons and Benjamin Šeško, then they could easily generate 100 million euros. And also Leipzig think that Xavi Simons' salary is a little bit too high, 12 million euros per year, that's 10 million pounds per year. And one source said, I'm also told that Liverpool have asked questions about Xavi Simons, and again, you look at the style of his play, you could see why he would be a fit to the way Liverpool plays. So top level clubs, at least in terms of budget, Xavi Simons is the focus, but Man United are also interested in Xavi Simons, but they are not a top level club in terms of performances this season. I think everything is set up for a sale this summer. If they can convince one of those clubs to come in and spend the money that Leipzig want for him, then Xavi Simons will be sold. So Liverpool are thinking about moving for Xavi Simons. I think if he costs around 70 million or almost 70 million pounds, then that's too much for Liverpool. I think Xavi Simons is a good player, but he's not worth 70 million. He's worth around 50 to 60 million pounds. And Florian Plettenberg said Leipzig are still set to demand around 80 million euros for Xavi Simons. FC Bayern, Liverpool, Man United and several others have him on their radar and they are monitoring his situation. So no official offer has been submitted to Leipzig. So that's the release clause, 80 million euros, that's 68 million pounds. And there are a lot of question marks about the Liverpool attacking players. Thankfully, Mo Salah signed his new contract. Cody Gakpo is set to stay, but there are question marks around the futures of Chiesa, Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota. That's at least 4 attackers. And also maybe Chiesa as well. So 4 attackers out of the 6 that Liverpool have right now have question marks around their futures. And here are the attacking and also all the metrics about Xavi Simons. And in terms of shot creating actions and expected assisted goals, he's in the top 5 and 8% when it comes to attacking midfielders and wingers. And also assists and non-penalty expected goals and expected assists, he's in the top 20%. Just like, passes attempted, passes completed, progressive carries, successful take-ons, touches. He's an elite player and progressive passes 89, top 89%. And surprisingly, he wins a lot of his aerial duels, which is pretty nice. Of course, defensively, he's not up there because he's an attacking midfielder, really attacking player. And Xavi Simons looks like he's up for the challenge. He's up for a greater challenge than playing for Leipzig, and Leipzig are just trying to get into the Champions League next season, but they had an absolutely miserable Champions League campaign this season where they failed to finish in the top 24. They lost like their first 6 games in the Champions League, which for a club as big as Leipzig with as good a squad as Leipzig, that was an utter abject failure. So Xavi Simons sooner or later will want to move to a club who can not only play in the Champions League but regularly compete in the Champions League and also go far in the competition. And both Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez are linked to an exit. Xavi Simons could replace, in theory, somebody like Harvey Elliott or Luis Diaz or even Federico Chiesa as well. And Xavi Simons is ready for the Premier League. He's a little bit not as strong as you need to be to play in the Premier League, but he's still, in the early stages of his development. And Liverpool have been begged to complete the signing of Xavi Simons as they aim to strengthen their team. So Paul Robinson, in a recent podcast, insisted that Xavi Simons would clearly be a starting player at Liverpool. And recently Jamie Carragher said that Dominic Szoboszlai, he's a great player, but he needs to score more goals and more assists. But that's because he has a lot of defensive responsibilities. With Trent Alexander-Arnold bombing forward, Dominic Szoboszlai sometimes needs to track back and defend a lot. If his sole responsibility was to attack, then Szoboszlai would score a lot more goals, in my opinion. So Paul Robinson said it depends if Liverpool are going to spend money this summer on an attacking midfielder. But Xavi Simons is 22 years old. His contract is until 2027, so he's not going to be a cheap option. He's got 8 goals, 5 assists so far this season. He carried a £50 million price tag, so it's going to be a hefty price tag now. He's a good player, an attacking-minded midfielder. He can play out wide as well. And he gives you another option. Look at the left-hand side. It depends on what happens with Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz. I like Gakpo. I'm surprised he hasn't had a bigger impact for Liverpool this year. I think he had until his injury, and since his injury, Luis Diaz just has been in better form. So Gakpo has been on the bench for some games, but overall Luis Diaz still had a big impact for Liverpool. I think Xavi Simons would come in and he would certainly start. He would be the type of player Liverpool are going to look at, but again, he comes with a decent price tag. And Al Hilal still wants Darwin Núñez. We had a bid rejected for Darwin Núñez from Al Hilal in January, and they could come back for Darwin Núñez, and he could certainly leave because at the moment it looks like Arne Slot and Liverpool are happy to sell Darwin Núñez. But if you buy Xavi Simons as a creator, he has a surprisingly low percentage of assists. He's only in the bottom 48% for assists. That's a little bit low. But he actually outperforms Dominic Szoboszlai in terms of carries and take-ons and shot-creating actions. But Dominic Szoboszlai edges out Xavi Simons, so he's better than Xavi Simons in pass completion, non-penalty goals and defensive blocks. So Cody Gakpo pretty much monsters Xavi Simons on all metrics as a left winger apart from non-penalty. Expected goals off the ball, Xavi Simons lags significantly in terms of tackles, interceptions, blocks, clearances. But once Xavi Simons is in possession, he excels. He has a 90 top 10 percentile carries and passes progressively. So that's the thing. Xavi Simons is not a defensive winger. He's great at attacking and not much defensively. But if you look at Arne Slot historically, he has had a creative player in the attacking line, not always pace merchants. And Xavi Simons could operate in that attacking midfielder left half space, feeding more direct runners like Salah or supplying the bullets for a number 9. But he's not a huge upgrade. He's in the rough ballpark of 2 of the players that currently play the positions. The cost raises questions about value for money. If you are buying for creativity, apart from when he plays as a winger, he doesn't do that as a second midfielder. Yet his Bundesliga numbers, 9 goals and 5 assists, places him about level with Luis Diaz, but above McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai. I'm not sure Xavi Simons is your man to break down deep, low blocks, because there is no space behind to play an incisive pass. He's a creative player, he's a playmaker. We need more threat, none of that is debatable, but Xavi Simons is maybe not the player to be a 20 goal and 20 assist season attacking midfielder that Liverpool are looking for. Even a 15 goal and 15 assist attacking midfielder would be brilliant, but Xavi Simons is not that kind of player. I mean, last season he had 10 goals and 13 assists, which is pretty decent, but this season only 10 goals and 6 assists, which is decent, but he's not worth 60 million pounds. So that's, I think the price tag is what Liverpool will scoff at, and I don't think we will go in for him. But I still wanted to make a detailed report on Xavi Simons, because there are noises around Liverpool's interest, and Arne Slot wants Liverpool to win the Premier League title in front of Anfield, in front of a packed Anfield at home against Tottenham, and I'm absolutely excited, and I can't wait for the game tomorrow. Everybody wants Liverpool to win the title, every Liverpool fan, in front of a packed Anfield. It's a big responsibility, because we are aware of the fact that the last time Liverpool won the league, it was COVID time, so everybody is looking forward to Sunday, but we know that there's still a job to be done. And that's at least 1 point. That's what we know. That's something we are definitely aware of here inside this building. Hopefully all fans support us in the best possible way, Arne Slot said, which they have done the whole season, and hopefully they are aware of the fact that we still need a point. And I get these questions, will I become a legend? Then it comes to your mind, of course, but that's the last thing you think about as a manager at this particular moment in time. The only thing I think about is that hopefully all the players are available, and I need to prepare them. I noticed last week at Leicester against a team that was relegated how hard it was to get the win over the line. So I'm not getting carried away at all. I enjoy going to Anfield every single day, but the moment the referee blows his whistle, of course the focus is on trying to get the point or the win over the line. Normally you are only settling for a win, and the point is not enough, so the moment you enjoy is mostly when the referee blows his whistle. These are the 3, 4 or 5 minutes that you are really happy when you walk off the pitch. Then you walk into the dressing room, where you always see 1 or 2 players that are not as happy as I am because they haven't played. So then you already start to think, okay, this has to be managed again as well. And then I need to go to the media. So it's mostly 3 or 4 or 5 minutes that you are really happy. And then the normal managerial life starts again. And yeah, that's the life of the manager. Cody Gakpo also said, this is the moment we all worked so hard for the whole season. Obviously, we lost the Carabao Cup final. We were out of the FA Cup. We got knocked out of the Champions League as well. They were moments where we were maybe not as good as we wanted to be, but if we can win the title at the weekend, it's an amazing season for all of us and something we can really build on in the future. When you start football and you get knowledge about the leagues in Europe, I think everybody can agree the Premier League is one of, if not the best league in Europe and the world. To hopefully become a Premier League winner is every footballer's dream at some point in life. That would be an amazing achievement. Good luck, Liverpool. Tomorrow, let's just get the point or get the win and get the title over the line, and then let the celebrations begin. I cannot wait for Liverpool to become Premier League champions again. We have waited 5 years for this, but for the fans who go to the games, they waited 35 years to be able to celebrate a Premier League title win with the fans in the stadium. That will be a magical moment, and I hope it comes on Sunday. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.